What if a military operation that everyone called a success was actually a huge failure? Today, we're diving into a declassified plan for a potential U.S. second strike against Iran's nuclear program. And as you're about to see, this wasn't just another bombing run. No, this was a plan for a totally different kind of war. And that brings us to the central mystery here. The first strike, which had the code name Operation Midnight Hammer, was, by all public accounts, a success. So why on earth would the Pentagon go right back to the drawing board to plan another, much larger attack? Well, the answer, as we're about to find out, is hiding in the shadows.
So to really get why they needed a second plan, we've got to go back and understand the first strike. Operation Midnight Hammer was designed to be surgical. It was a very precise attack meant to send a crystal clear message and, buy some time by delaying Iran's nuclear ambitions.
I mean, the operation itself was pretty much textbook. You had 6 B-2 Spirit bombers, these incredible stealth aircraft, armed with massive GBU-57 bunker busters. They went after the 3 main pillars of Iran's nuclear program, the super-hardened facilities at Fordow and Natanz, and the site at Isfahan. Satellite photos came back, confirmed major damage, and on the surface, it looked like a classic mission accomplished. Yeah, but see, that was just the surface story. While the world was focused on other things, intelligence agencies started picking up on some really troubling activity. It became pretty clear pretty fast that this story was far from over. Fast forward to January 2026, and suddenly the whole strategic picture has flipped on its head. That initial success of Midnight Hammer, it was now being seriously questioned, all because of some brand new intelligence that was coming to light. Now, what's really fascinating is how all of this connects. Iran was actually using the chaos of these huge nationwide protests as a kind of smokescreen, while their military, the IRGC, was busy cracking down on more than 340 protest sites. American satellites started spotting these unusual truck convoys at the Fordow facility, the one that was supposed to be damaged. They weren't just rebuilding, they were scrambling to do something. So, with this new intel, everything gets thrown out the window. The U.S. was forced into this dramatic shift in strategy. This time, the plan wasn't for a surgical warning shot. No, this was for a total decapitation strike, designed to end the threat for good. And this new plan is wild. It unfolds in 3 very distinct, escalating phases. First, an invisible attack to blind the enemy. Second, you take down their defenses. And then third, the main event, a massive strike aimed not just at buildings, but at the regime itself. So get this, before a single bomb is even dropped, the war has already started, silently. Phase 1, they call it the Blackout, and it's all about creating chaos and paralysis from space and cyberspace, leaving Iran's leadership completely in the dark. So how do you even do that? Well, way up in orbit, the classified Silent Barker satellite constellation would start jamming Iran's communication satellites, just cutting the link between Tehran and its military commanders. And at the exact same time, U.S. Cyber Command would hit a button and unleash malware that was planted long ago, plunging the country's power grid into total darkness. The result? A government that is blind, deaf, and frankly, completely panicked. Okay, so Iran's command structure is in total chaos. What's the next logical step? You have to eliminate their ability to fight back. Phase 2 is all about systematically taking apart their air defense shield, clearing the way for the heavy bombers to come in. The tactic here is just brilliant. It's like this massive bait and switch. Instead of hunting for all their hidden air defense sites, the U.S. Navy would launch hundreds of these tiny decoy drones. Now, to an Iranian radar operator, this looks like a massive invasion force of F-16s and F-15s. The moment they light up their radars to track these decoys, they give away their position. And that's exactly when the real threat, the stealthy F-35s and F-22s that have been lurking nearby, completely silent, they lock on and take them out. And now for Phase 3. The sky is clear, the defenders are gone, and the heavyweights finally arrive. This is the kinetic part of the operation, the part with the explosions, and it's targeting not just the nuclear sites, but the very heart of the Iranian regime. See, since that first strike, Iran has been pouring even more concrete, hardening its mountain bunkers. So the Air Force plans what it calls a double tap. The first GBU-57 bunker buster comes in and just blows open the new defenses. Then a second B-2 flies over and drops another bomb directly into that fresh crater. The second bomb can then penetrate way deeper before it detonates, collapsing the entire mountain facility from the inside out. And look at the targets. The list has totally changed. This is no longer just about centrifuges and nuclear material. Submarines with launched Tomahawk cruise missiles at IRGC barracks and intelligence headquarters, the exact same command centers that were orchestrating the crackdown on protesters. The plan also includes hitting those infamous underground missile cities to make sure Iran can't retaliate. When you see that shift in targeting, it reveals this really profound change in U.S. military thinking. The entire strategy has moved away from a limited counter-proliferation strike to one of just total dominance, or what the military calls overmatch. The difference between these two operations is it's night and day. Operation Midnight Hammer was basically a warning shot. The goal was to break their machines to buy some time, to delay the nuclear program. But this second strike plan? Whoa, this is a decapitation strike. It's aimed at breaking the regime's entire ability to govern, to end the threat permanently. But that still brings us back to that original nagging question. Why? Why the need for such a drastic, massive escalation? Well, the answer lies in what was probably the single biggest intelligence failure of that first strike. And there it is. This is the critical failure. The United States hit the buildings, they collapsed the tunnels, but they missed the one thing that truly mattered. Intelligence now confirms that Iran moved its most valuable assets before the first bombs ever fell. And this is the number that changed everything. 400 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60% purity. Now, to put that in perspective, that is dangerously close to weapons grade. And it wasn't destroyed, it was just moved. So, this is the question that haunts intelligence agencies and is the entire logic behind this massive second strike plan. You can't destroy what you can't find. The whole decapitation strategy is designed to create so much chaos and panic that the regime is physically unable to protect its most precious and most dangerous secret. So where could it be? Analysts think it might be in other tunnels at Isfahan, or hidden away at military bases like Parchin, or maybe even dispersed across a whole network of secret, undeclared bunkers. The terrifying truth is, nobody knows for sure. And that uncertainty is what makes this declassified plan so incredibly significant, leaving us with a final, really chilling thought. What happens when the world's most dangerous shell game is played with nuclear stakes?